This is Cade Reserve with stelvin enclosure, and here is Cade Reserve with cork. So they are side by side. One bottle of wine with. Good afternoon. Welcome to Cork and Olive. My name is Anthony Manipadam, and here with me is Adam, who is one of the distributors that I work with. Here we have two wines for you. Actually, in fact, it is identical wine in two different styles of enclosure. They are both from Cade Reserve, and one with the stelvin enclosure, the other with a cork enclosure. And here we're going to talk about how different the cork versus stelvin is, because people have a notion that wine with a cork is more sophisticated versus wine with a stelvin enclosure is supposed to be an inexpensive or cheap wine. And I want to basically take that misnotion with the help of Adam here. Adam, please tell us why you think a stelvin enclosure should be a better wine versus a cork wine.
Okay, Anthony asked me to come in here and talk a little bit about it. There is a stigma in this country about wine in the screw cap, or the stelvin enclosure. With the stelvin enclosure, there is no chance of any air getting into the wine. Therefore, you don't have any problems with storing it in the cellar for an extended period of time. So it actually makes it a little bit more superior for the higher end wines that are going to be stored in that there isn't any impact on the environment. Now with the corks, it's every 7 to 8 years that they have to go through the cork trees and take the bark off, and then they have to wait another period of time where the tree is actually susceptible to disease and rot from removing the bark. And two, the cork is never 100% effective in keeping the air out of a wine. So you never know when you're going to have some cork damage or some air oxidation to the wine. So you might have a very expensive bottle, such as the ones that we have right here, where it might actually go bad without you realizing it, and then you pull the bottle out for a special occasion, and next thing you know, you're mad at Anthony for selling you a bad bottle when it really has nothing to do with him.
Well, again, if you're storing wine with a cork, you have to know that every few years, I think it is about a 10 to 15 years, the life of the cork, that you have to physically spend the money to actually change the cork if you want to store an expensive bottle of wine. Yeah. So a bottle of wine.
On top of that, you also have to put in a preservative into the air to help protect the wine as well. So something that a lot of people don't like doing, and it's also very expensive to do, right. Time consuming and everything else. But what Cade has done here, and Cade is a very high-end wine out of the Howell Mountain in Napa Valley, and what they've done is that they're trying to, to educate the population on that, higher end wines can and should be put in a stelvin enclosure. So what they've done is in certain packs, like the one that we have right here next to us, is actually a case of wine where half of them come in the cork and then half of them come in the stelvin enclosure. And then this way people can see it, can see the label, and will be more accustomed to having some of the higher end wine in the stelvin enclosure opposed to the
don't
cork.
be afraid, okay? In future, when you see a wine with a stelvin enclosure, don't shy away from it. Take it, try it. One more great thing about a stelvin enclosure is when you're traveling, you don't have to have a corkscrew to open it. When you're at a hotel, pick up a bottle of wine. You don't have to struggle with it. Just open it, enjoy it, and have fun with wine. And we will see you at Cork and Olive. If you need any of these wines, I'm glad to sell this wine to you.